Welcome back, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of vintage U.S. coinage, specifically the legendary wheat pennies. These humble copper cents, minted from 1909 to 1958, have become icons of American numismatics. And while most are worth just a cent or two, a select few are worth hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. So grab your magnifying glass, because here are the top 4 most valuable and expensive wheat pennies of all time, based on year, design, and mint mark. Let's get started. First up, the 1943 steel wheat penny with no mint mark, a shadowed American legend that could secretly be worth $1 million. Beneath the surface of America's most legendary coins lies a rare and rugged titan, the 1943 steel wheat penny with no mint mark, struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint. This unassuming cent, often found in blackened, dirty condition, may appear dull and corroded on the outside, but don't be fooled. What you're looking at could be one of the most valuable coins ever released into U.S. circulation, and for some lucky collectors, it's been the hidden gateway to million-dollar riches. What makes this tiny coin so powerful? It's a dramatic story of war, innovation, rarity, and a critical mistake that shook the U.S. Mint to its core. In 1943, the United States was fully engaged in the throes of World War II. Copper was urgently needed for wartime ammunition and equipment, so the U.S. Mint made the unprecedented decision to strike Lincoln cents from zinc-coated steel rather than traditional copper. This gave birth to the iconic 1943 steel wheat penny, a coin that gleamed like a dime when new and stood out dramatically in the hands of millions of Americans. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 684 million of them, all without a mint mark, making the 1943 no mint mark steel penny one of the most widespread coins in history. But among these millions, a few mysterious outliers and specific conditions have made some of them worth life-changing fortunes. On the obverse, the design remains true to Victor D. Brenner's classic Lincoln wheat penny aesthetic, first introduced in 1909. We see the unmistakable bust of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, stoic and wise. The words "In God We Trust" arc above his head, while liberty rests to the left of the portrait. The date, 1943, appears sharply to the right, and beneath it, notably, no mint mark, confirming its origin in Philadelphia. In black or dirty condition, many of these coins have lost their original silvery luster, dulled by age and corrosion due to the steel core's vulnerability to moisture. Yet, beneath that darkened patina could lie a mint error, a transitional planchet, or a rare condition that sets its value soaring. Flip the coin to the reverse, and you're greeted with the elegant simplicity of Brenner's iconic wheat design. 2 symmetrical wheat stalks curve along the edges, framing the bold inscription, 1 cent, in the center. Above it, the words United States of America, and at the top, the national motto, E pluribus unum. Though many of these reverse fields appear dull or pitted in blackened condition, experts know that even a dirty coin can mask something extraordinary, like an error strike, double die features, or a planchet anomaly that was never meant to enter circulation. The million-dollar mystery: why some 1943 pennies are worth a fortune. Here's the part that shakes the numismatic world to this day. A handful of 1943 cents were mistakenly struck on copper planchets left over from 1942. These rare, wrong metal coins look like ordinary copper pennies, but with a 1943 date, and they are among the most valuable coins in American history. Only about 20 authentic 1943 copper pennies from the Philadelphia Mint have ever been discovered, and they routinely sell for $250,000 to over $1 million, depending on condition. But it doesn't stop there. Other rare errors have emerged from the 1943 series as well. Double die obverse, DDO. Off-center strikes. Clipped planchets. 1943 over 1942 re-punch date. Steel planchets struck with insufficient zinc coating, making the coin appear completely dark, brown, or black, a condition you might easily dismiss as damage when it could be a key to rarity. This is where your black, dirty 1943 steel wheat penny with no mint mark enters the spotlight. Even in seemingly poor condition, if it carries an error, rare variation, or shows signs of being struck on the wrong metal, it could become a sought-after million-dollar piece. Professional grading and testing, such as with XRF machines for metal content, can expose hidden truths under the dirt and corrosion. Some collectors and dealers now specialize in finding these black beauties, convinced that among them lie uncatalogued rarities waiting to explode in value. Specifications of the 1943 steel wheat penny. Mint, Philadelphia, no mint mark. Composition, zinc-coated steel, low-carbon steel core, plated in zinc. Weight, 2.70 grams. Diameter, 19.05 millimeters. Edge, plain. Designer, Victor David Brenner. Current market value and demand. Regular 1943 steel penny. XF condition $1 to $3. Uncirculated, bright luster. MS 65 plus $10 to $50. Double die, error types, $75 to $1,000 plus. Wrong planchet or copper strike, authenticated $250,000 to over $1 million. Demand for 1943 pennies is hotter than ever in 2025. The legend of the million-dollar copper 1943 cent continues to drive collectors, metal detectors, estate hunters, and even amateur treasure seekers to examine every old jar and forgotten roll of pennies. What used to be a novelty coin is now a national obsession, featured on television, in documentaries, and across the web. The final word: could your black 1943 no-mint mark steel penny make you a millionaire? Yes, it absolutely could. Beneath its worn, dark surface could lie a misstrike, a rare variation, a transitional metal fluke, a copper-plated mystery, or even the million-dollar unicorn itself, a 1943 copper planchet strike. Don't clean it. Don't polish it. Protect it, and have it professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC. The humble 1943 steel penny is not just a coin. It's a wartime relic, a collector's legend, and possibly the smallest million-dollar treasure in your pocket. And with no mint mark, you hold a Philadelphia original, steeped in American heritage, numismatic mystery, and untapped fortune. Search wisely. Look closely, because this one little blackened cent might just be your path to unimaginable riches. Next up, the 1946 wheat penny with no mint mark, a post-war legacy that could unlock a million-dollar destiny. In the world of rare and collectible coins, one small, copper-toned coin has emerged from the ashes of history to hold its place among America's most beloved numismatic treasures. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Often overlooked in the shadows of more dramatic wartime errors and steel experiments, this coin stands as a symbol of peace, renewal, and hidden value, a post-war icon whose very existence marked the return of stability to the U.S. economy after the turmoil of World War II. But in very fine condition, with its deep copper color and historical depth, this humble penny may be far more valuable than most realize. In rare cases, with striking anomalies or pristine preservation, it could be the silent fortune waiting to be discovered in your coin jar. The 1946 wheat penny emerged just 1 year after the war ended. The U.S. Mint returned to using a 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc alloy, a composition that was reintroduced after the famous 1-year use of zinc-coated steel in 1943. By 1946, Americans were eager for peace, normalcy, and continuity, and the wheat penny's reversion to copper signaled a return to tradition. Over 991 million pennies were minted in Philadelphia that year, all without a mint mark. Yet, that doesn't mean rarity is off the table. In fact, in very fine condition or with unusual characteristics, the 1946 no-mint wheat penny can soar in both collector demand and market value. On the obverse, the familiar and revered portrait of Abraham Lincoln remains at center stage, a symbol of unity and resilience. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, this was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, a radical decision back in 1909 that became a beloved standard. The words "In God We Trust" crown Lincoln's head, liberty rests on the left field, and the date, 1946, anchors the right. Because this is the Philadelphia issue, there is no mint mark beneath the date. In very fine condition, Lincoln's facial features, hair, and coat lapel are clearly defined but show moderate wear from circulation. giving it the kind of historical charm that only honest age can bestow. Flip the coin to reveal the reverse, where the classic wheat ears curve elegantly along the edges, framing the proud inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above it all, the national motto, E pluribus unum, out of many, one, encapsulates the nation's spirit after the war. NVF, very fine condition, these details are still sharp, although the wheat lines may be worn at the tips and the central lettering may show light flattening. The overall reddish-brown copper color of this coin, especially if still uniform and lustrous, can dramatically affect its eye appeal and desirability among collectors. Specifications of the 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny, no mint mark. Mint, Philadelphia. Metal composition, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Weight, 3.11 grams. Diameter, 19.05 millimeters. Edge, plain. Designer, Victor David Brenner. Minted quantity, approximately 991,655,000. Current market value and demand. Very fine, VF, 2010 to 30 cents. Extremely fine, YF, 40-50 cents to $1. Uncirculated, MS, 60 to MS, 65 red $2 to $20 plus. Rare errors, off-center, double die, clipped planchet. BIE errors $50 to $5,000 plus. Perfectly struck red GM with full luster. MS, 67 RD up to $3,000 at major auctions. While a standard 1946 no-mint penny may not be worth millions on its own, collectors constantly search for error varieties, and that's where things can get exciting. A 1946 penny with a double die obverse, a clipped planchet, or a dramatic striking anomaly could instantly launch its value into the thousands. In rare cases, misstruck coins or copper planchets with incorrect composition have sold for life-changing amounts when authenticated by NGC or PCGS. These coins often go unnoticed for decades, only to be discovered by someone with a sharp eye and a little luck. Rising demand in 2025. In today's coin market, fueled by viral discoveries and digital auctions, collectors are turning their attention back to mid-20th century pennies, especially those from transitional periods like 1946. There's a growing wave of interest in everyday coins that became extraordinary, and the 1946 wheat penny fits that narrative perfectly. It's a coin found in family heirlooms, inherited from war-era collections, or tucked inside vintage piggy banks, its copper face bearing silent witness to an era of resilience. Online marketplaces, coin shows, and estate sales are seeing renewed interest in this post-war classic, especially when paired with solid condition and vibrant color. Collectors are eager to complete Lincoln cent sets with original Philadelphia strikes from pivotal years, and values for better grades and errors have risen steadily over the past 5 years. Could your 1946 no-mint wheat penny make you a millionaire? Yes, if it's the right one. While most 1946 wheat pennies in average condition are valued modestly, yours in very fine condition is a strong candidate for premium pricing if it displays a rare die variety, such as a strong double die, a dramatic error, like off-center strike or lamination flaw, unusual coloration or planchet anomaly, full original red luster and high-grade preservation. And here's where your fortune might lie. Only a small number of high-grade or rare-error 1946 pennies exist, and those that combine rarity with eye appeal are snapped up by elite collectors and top-tier auction houses. A single exceptional 1946 wheat penny has the power to transform a collection and a life when discovered. Final verdict. The 1946 wheat penny with no mint mark in very fine condition is not just a coin. It's a post-war relic, a copper witness to America's rebirth, and potentially a hidden treasure in your grasp. Whether it's resting in a drawer, sitting in a coin album, or waiting to be unearthed in a metal-detecting adventure, this little cent may be the unsuspecting millionaire maker you never knew you had. So protect it, examine it, and most importantly, believe in the value of history pressed into copper, because sometimes the most extraordinary wealth begins with the most ordinary penny. Next up, let's dive into the captivating story of one of America's beloved copper treasures, the 1956 wheat penny with NO mint mark, a coin that whispers tales of post-war prosperity Lincoln's enduring legacy, and perhaps the hidden promise of a millionaire's future. This script is crafted for the collector with an eye for detail and a heart that beats for rarity. Let's uncover every inch of this copper classic in glorious detail. In the glimmering dawn of 1956, the United States was riding the wave of post-war affluence. And while skyscrapers reached for the heavens and Cadillacs cruised the highways, a quiet revolution continued in the palms of everyday Americans, in the form of a humble 1-cent coin. This wasn't just any coin. This was the 1956 wheat penny, a glinting red-brown artifact forged in copper and history. When you find one without a mint mark, struck at the fabled Philadelphia Mint, you're not just holding currency. You're holding a relic of Americana, possibly worth a fortune if it's in pristine, very fine condition. For collectors, it's not merely about rarity. It's about legacy, and this coin delivers both in full. The design of the 1956 wheat penny is an eternal tribute to President Abraham Lincoln, whose profile commands the obverse side with noble grace. Sculpted by master engraver Victor David Brenner, Lincoln's stoic gaze is etched with remarkable depth, his beard finely textured, his collar sharply defined. Above his head reads the patriotic cry, "In God We Trust," flanked by Liberty on the left and the date 1956 on the right. The absence of a mint mark below the date is the golden detail that sets this variety apart. It was struck in Philadelphia, where no mint marks were traditionally used at the time. It's a mark of originality, a clue for the discerning eye. Flip it over and you're greeted with the enduring simplicity of the reverse design. Two golden stalks of Durham wheat arching like laurel wreaths on either side, standing as silent sentinels to America's agrarian roots. Between them, 1 cent in bold, block letters, followed by United States of America. Hovering above like a divine promise is the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. A reminder that this coin is more than a penny. It's a symbol of unity, resilience, and hope. The design is bold yet elegant, industrial yet soulful, a blend of artistry and intent rarely seen in modern coinage. Now, let's explore the specifications that make this coin a numismatic gem. Struck from a rich alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the 1956 wheat penny weighs exactly 3.11 grams and measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter. Its plain edge and distinct reddish-brown hue, in very fine condition, make it a joy to behold. Over the decades, coins with this level of copper content have grown increasingly desirable, not just for their metal but for the tactile connection they offer to a bygone age. Condition is king in the world of coins, and your 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny in very fine VF condition suggests light circulation, modest wear, and sharp design features still visible to the naked eye. Lincoln's cheek and jawline should still hold some definition, and the wheat ears on the reverse should have clearly defined lines, if slightly smoothed at the tops. This is no basement-dwelling coin. It stands tall in its visual appeal and collector's merit. But the true thrill of this penny lies not just in its appearance or materials. It's in its potential value and market demand. While common examples might fetch modest prices, collectors around the globe hunt relentlessly for error versions, double dies, and exceptionally preserved specimens. If your 1956 wheat penny features a rare die error, such as a double die obverse or off-center strike, you could be looking at a value that skyrockets into the thousands, or in near mint state and proof-like conditions, even more. It's these hidden variations, often overlooked by the untrained eye, that have turned ordinary coins into million-dollar discoveries. In today's thriving collector's market, the demand for wheat pennies, particularly mid-50s editions in VF condition or better, has surged. Coin shows, online auctions, and dedicated numismatic forums often showcase 1956 specimens commanding prices that defy expectations, especially those in full red, RD, tones, or with unique strike anomalies. A high-grade, unblemished 1956 Philadelphia penny can even reach $10,000 or more in the right auction setting. Couple that with a historical error, and you've got a ticket to a financial windfall. And let's not forget the emotional and historical value. Holding a 1956 wheat penny is like possessing a copper time capsule. It's a direct link to the era of Elvis Presley, Eisenhower's presidency, and the birth of the American interstate highway system. This coin jingled in the pockets of history makers and dreamers. It might have helped buy a soda at a nickel stand or dropped into the palm of a young child with wide eyes and a piggy bank. To imagine becoming a millionaire from a penny might sound like fantasy, but in numismatics, that fantasy has become reality for more than a few sharp-eyed collectors. The 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny, especially with rare errors or in immaculate condition, is a sleeper coin, quiet, overlooked by many, but brimming with the explosive potential of life-changing value. It's not just about wealth. It's about finding a once-common object that the world forgot until now. So, if you've come into possession of one of these magnificent copper cents, don't let it slip through your fingers. Examine it under a magnifying glass. Weigh it. Look for doubling, misalignments, off-centers, or even a mysterious ghost mint mark anomaly. The secrets it holds could be worth far more than a cent. They could be the keys to your million-dollar story. In a world where digital currency and virtual transactions rule the day, the 1956 wheat penny with NO mint mark stands defiantly as a symbol of tangible worth, craftsmanship, and untold potential. It's more than money. It's art, it's history, and perhaps your golden ticket. So next time you sift through your old change jar or family keepsake box, pause if you see that familiar copper face staring back. Because sometimes, the smallest coin hides the biggest fortune. Second, let's peel back the layers of history, design, and hidden wealth potential behind one of America's most circulated yet still fiercely pursued numismatic treasures, the 1944 wheat penny with NO mint mark, even in bad condition. Though worn by time and tarnished by touch, this humble copper coin could still be the key to a life-changing discovery, one that has quietly turned collectors into millionaires. This isn't just about a penny. It's about a coin that bridges World War II, American resilience, and the untold riches that may lie in your very hand. In the roaring shadows of World War II, the year 1944 was a time of global tension, victory on the horizon, and patriotic production back home in the United States. As American soldiers stormed Normandy and the world prayed for peace, the Philadelphia Mint was hard at work striking billions of Lincoln wheat pennies, coins that would soon become part of everyday life, and some whispers of incredible value. When you come across a 1944 wheat penny with NO mint mark, struck in the city of brotherly love, you're handling more than just copper. You're touching a piece of wartime America, a coin that has passed through generations, survived conflict, and perhaps holds a secret fortune in its wear. The design of the 1944 wheat penny remains a numismatic masterpiece. Created by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the coin proudly features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Lincoln's time-worn visage is a beacon of hope and integrity, even on coins in poor condition. Though heavy circulation may have softened his features on your specific piece, the iconic layout remains. In God we trust graces the upper arc, liberty rests to the left of Lincoln's profile, and the all-important date, 1944, lies on the right. The absence of a mint mark below the date tells you this coin hails from Philadelphia, the origin of many of the nation's most iconic coins. Turn the coin over and you see the reverse, a design so simple, yet deeply poetic. Two towering wheat stalks border the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above it all floats E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many one. Even in poor condition, this imagery carries profound symbolism, growth, strength, and unity. The wheat backs may be worn, the lines blurred, but that only deepens the coin's character. Each scratch, each fade, tells a story of commerce, of survival, and of time itself. Now, let's get into the specifications. The 1944 wheat penny was struck from a sturdy blend of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a departure from the steel composition used in 1943 during metal rationing for the war. It weighs 3.11 grams, measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, and has a plain edge. These copper coins were built to last, and they have. Even when corroded or dulled, the metal within still sings of history and resilience. and therein lies its allure to collectors worldwide. But now comes the million-dollar question. Can a 1944 wheat penny in bad condition make you rich? The answer may shock you. Yes, but only if it holds a rare error or anomaly. Among all the billions of 1944 wheat pennies minted, a few struck with experimental metals or dramatic minting errors have become the stuff of legends. The most famous? The 1944 steel penny, a coin accidentally struck using leftover steel planchets from the prior year. Only about 15 to 30 authentic examples of the 1944 steel penny are known to exist, and in any condition, even badly worn, they can fetch upwards of $100,000 to over $1 million at auction. Now here's where it gets interesting. A bad condition 1944 copper penny, in and of itself, might be worth 5 to 25 cents, unless it contains a rare error. For example, off-center strikes, double dies, repunched mint marks, or planchet composition errors can significantly increase its value. Even minor anomalies have fetched hundreds to thousands of dollars in the collector's market. That's why examining your 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny under magnification is vital, because buried beneath the surface of a beat-up old coin may be a flaw that turns it into a fortune. The market demand for 1944 wheat pennies remains strong to this day. Collectors worldwide seek every year of the Lincoln Wheat series, and the 1944 edition, struck during the turning tide of World War II, holds historical and emotional appeal. It's a must-have coin for complete collections, and as such, even in bad condition, it carries more sentimental value than most common pennies. But those few error-laden varieties? They're white-hot in demand. Some have already changed hands for six-figure prices, sparking coin hunts across the country as treasure seekers dig through old jars, piggy banks, and heirloom boxes in search of their golden copper ticket. And let's not underestimate the romantic power of discovery. Imagine a coin, dulled and discolored, resting forgotten in an attic box, until the right eyes uncover it. That's not a fantasy, it's happened. One Midwestern collector famously found a rusty 1944 steel penny in a batch of pocket change. After authentication, it sold for nearly $110,000. Others have uncovered double-die varieties worth $5,000 to $10,000. Sometimes, the most weathered coin hides the most brilliant story. So how do you know if your 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny is the one? Start by testing its metal. If it's magnetic, you may have one of the ultra-rare steel varieties. Weigh it carefully. Steel pennies are 2.7 grams, while copper ones are 3.11 grams. Look under a microscope or high-magnification lens for doubling in letters and numbers, or die cracks and planchet flaws. Even in rough shape, the right anomaly can spell a 5- or 6-figure payday. To conclude, the 1944 wheat penny with no mint mark, even in bad condition, is far more than pocket change. It's a bridge to America's wartime soul, a copper canvas of design and grit, and, just maybe, a sleeping millionaire maker. Every worn detail tells a story of perseverance and possibility. If you have one, don't disregard it. It might just be your chance at joining the small but growing list of people who got rich from a penny. Would you like me to help identify your coin or look for rare errors? You can upload a clear photo of both sides, and I'll analyze it for potential value. Your copper miracle could be one click away from changing your life.